Why God chose war-troubled Canaan land for Israel. Why did God choose the troubled land of Canaan as the promised land for Israel? The war between Israel and Palestine is gradually turning into a regional conflict with predominantly Muslim countries like Lebanon. Iran, Syria, and Yemen are being drawn into the conflict with the Jewish nation of Israel as things stand. Israel seems trapped between enemies that have vowed to destroy it. The question is, how did it come to this? How did Israel become snared in this region alone and under constant threat? Well, the answer relates to a divine promise made around 2000 BC, which is about 4,000 years ago. The location of the nation of Israel was chosen by God. They had no hand in the decision. Let's see how this unfolded by looking at the account in Genesis 12. It says, "Now the Lord said to Abram, 'Go from your country, your relatives, and your father's house to the land that I will show you, and I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you, and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse, and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed.'" Genesis 12 verses 1 to 3. God promised to show Abraham a land where he would prosper. We later learn that this land is the region of Canaan. We'll return to this promise, but first let's discuss Canaan. Where is Canaan today? In other words, what is the size of this land? Is it Israel? Justified and occupying the land it currently holds. Canaan corresponds to the historical region located in the eastern Mediterranean, which includes parts of present-day Israel. The Palestinian territories, West Bank and Gaza Strip, Jordan, and Lebanon. Here's a breakdown of how the ancient land of Canaan corresponds to present-day areas. Israel, a significant portion of ancient Canaan, corresponds to modern-day Israel. This includes areas such as the coastal plains, parts of the Jordan Valley, and portions of the northern and central regions of Israel. Palestinian territories, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip are also part of the historical Canaanite region. These territories have been home to various groups, including Palestinian Arabs. Jordan, eastern parts of ancient Canaan, are now part of present-day Jordan. The Jordan River, for example, played a significant role in the biblical accounts of the Israelites' arrival in Canaan. Lebanon, the northern region of ancient Canaan, extended into present-day Lebanon, as you can see. Israel does not currently occupy all of the land of Canaan promised to Abraham instead. After 4,000 years of entering a covenant with God, this promise has only been partially fulfilled. The reason for this is clear. Disobedience has always been the source of their problems. Even today, whether it's their enslavement in Egypt, their defeat by the Philistines, their exile to Babylon, the destruction of their temple in 70 AD, or their entombment between their enemies. Now they have only partially fulfilled the covenant of their forefathers with God, so God has only partially fulfilled his promise to them. I will tell you shortly how they can fully fulfill their covenant with God and thereby fully reclaim his promise to Abraham and to Isaac and to Jacob. But first, let's answer the question, why Canaan? Why did God choose Canaan as the land for the Israelites? With the benefit of thousands of years, we know that the region is not the best, at least from a human perspective. It is dry, arid, mostly infertile, and lacks adequate water. The rivers are drying up, and it seems there will never be peace in the region. So why this location out of all places in the world? Why Canaan for God's people? Here are some reasons for the choice of Canaan as the land of the Israelite nation. The chosen nation of God. Number 1, Canaan is a product of the covenant. As we mentioned before, Canaan as the land for the Israelites is rooted in the covenant that God made with Abraham. In this covenant, God promised to make Abraham into a great nation, to bless him and to give his descendants the land of Canaan as an everlasting possession. God is a keeper of promises, and so no matter what happens, the Israelite nation will continue to occupy that land. However, whether they do so partially or fully will depend on their fulfillment of God's covenant with Abraham. Number 2. Canaan has a connection to the patriarchs of Israel. Canaan is significant because it was the land where Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob lived and bore their descendants. Canaan is the birthland of Israel. The connection to their ancestors made it a meaningful and historical homeland for Israel. The bones of these patriarchs reside in the region of Canaan, and so it will always be home. Even when Joseph died in Egypt, his bones were gathered and taken to Canaan. Number 3. Canaan is fertile. We said before that Canaan is not the most fertile and that it is mostly dried and full of trouble, but that is not God's intention. Canaan is supposed to be a land flowing with milk and honey, symbolizing its fertility and abundance. It is a land where the Israelites could live prosperous and fruitful lives in obedience to God's laws. This is what God promised, but only if the Israelites upheld their side of the bargain. They have not. Number 4. Divine promise. We can speculate all we want, but only God himself knows the reason for the choice of Canaan. If the true reason for the choice of Canaan for Israel were to be revealed to us, I am certain we would be astonished because God's ways are never fully discernible to humans. Nevertheless, the choice of Canaan as the promised land was ultimately a divine decision founded on good intentions for the Israelite people. God had a specific purpose for the Israelites in Canaan, which included establishing a nation that would worship and serve him faithfully. How I wish they would realize this and accept Jesus as the Son of God who came and died for our redemption. I am certain their lot would change, but that is not going to happen at this time. How do I know? Because it is part of the prophecy. Number 5, the fulfillment of prophecy. The promise of Canaan as the promised land also played a role in fulfilling God's prophetic plan, including the eventual coming of the Messiah through the line of David, who was a descendant of the Israelites in Canaan. The incarnate Jesus died, was buried, and resurrected in the land of Canaan. The salvation of humanity is connected to events that took place in the region. God certainly has a plan for the region. Jesus will establish his millennial kingdom in Jerusalem in the land of Canaan after his return. This period, known as the millennium, will be a time of peace and righteousness with Jesus as the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, you will also like this video on the war in Gaza. God bless you. Amen.